Hello everyone, it's Vicky here today designing for Pink Fresh Studio, and I'm using this Sunshine on My Mind collection today. I wanted to create a lovely beach layout, and so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to start off by layering up some papers, and I'm going to cut some pieces to size. So I want this to be my main paper that we're going to see, which just mentions summer and poolside and that sort of thing. Real summer sort of words and icons, and just giving me a summer vibe. And then I want to layer some other colours underneath just to add a bit of pop to it. So you can see I've chosen some papers here, the pink there with the check on, and then this seashell sort of a peachy colour. And so I layer those up, and I want to put it on my paper this side, and I want to layer the photos there on the right. So that's how I want it to look. The next thing I'm going to do is stick it all down, but first I just gut out a piece of paper from the center of these. I thought that I might want to cut out some shells, and I might use a piece for matting my photo, which I don't in the end, but I don't like to waste the paper, and I can use it on another layer anyway. So no one's going to see that bit underneath, so no one will know that there are holes. So I'm going to start to stick those together. Just going to use double-sided tape and stick those down to the page in the order that I wanted them. And then off camera, I decided to do some stitching. So I'm going to take that away in just a second, and it will come back with stitching on it. There we go. So I did a zigzag stitch around the pink. And now I'm just going to ruffle the edges of all of those 3 pieces of paper. And I'm just using my fingernails. If you don't have fingernails to use, you could just use a pair of scissors or something like that, just to give it a little bit of a ruffled textured edge. And that's the look I'm going for there. So all 3 pieces. It's probably not very good for your fingernails, but we crafters do stranger things for our craft, don't we? Okay, there we go. So I'm going to stick that down onto my page, and it's going to hang off the edge, and I'm just going to cut that off with my knife because I obviously don't need that bit on there. I'm not worried about cutting the end of the thread that's not tied off. If it frays a little, I don't mind, so that's all fine. So that's where my photos are going to go. They're beachy photos from Portugal, and they've got lots of space on them, white space, so lots of sand, and I've got an idea for that a bit later, but for now I'm just going to leave them as they are. So this paper has lots of florals on, and I'm going to cut out a couple of those to add to my page. And I'll skip through that in a second. I just cut a couple off from the edge of the page. I don't want them up front and centre. I'm going to tuck them behind something, so it's fine that they're just from the edge. Okay, so I've tucked one over on the right at the top and one at the bottom, also on the right. And there we go, just adding in some florals there from the embellishments pack. I don't actually use this yellow one, but that's sort of the idea I'm going for. Sorry about that, my dog just coughed. If you heard that, apologies. Just tucking some more florals around the page. And I like a little cluster at the top there. And I like how that looks. The leaves that I put under there, the palm leaves, they were cut previously from, there's a large piece of paper, and I cut all the leaves out of it for a layout that I made. I didn't use them all, so I had a couple left over. So that's what those are from, just in case you're wondering. Okay, so I'm sticking some things down because I like how this is looking and I don't want to mess up how it looks. Okay, so what am I doing next? I'm going to put some foam onto the back of my photos because I'm getting ready to stick those down soon. And I just like a bit of foam on the photos so that they pop off the page. They are the focal point after all. Just making sure I put the foam in the right place. I'm always having to peel it back off. So I'm going to ruffle up the edges of these palm leaves as well. I'm just sort of bending them around a bit just to add, again, a bit of dimension and texture to my layouts before I go ahead and stick them down. So just sort of folding each leaf down the middle roughly, and that just adds enough texture that I think it looks, you know, it makes them look more 3D. So I'm pretty happy with how this is looking at the moment. I'm going to start thinking about sticking more down in a second. Just trying to find another floral at the top. I just want one that sort of overlaps the paper so it doesn't look so straight up there. And I settle on this little one here. And I like how that looks there. And I changed that yellow flower as I said I would. So now I'm going to stick things down. I'm just going to leave them where they are and stick them as I go. Well, particularly those leaves, because I liked the positioning. Probably never get that again. So it's the best way I find to do it. So I'm going to put tape and glue on my photos. Just the tape helps them grab. I always say this, the tape helps them grab and the glue helps them to stick long term. So I'm just going to put that there, and I'm going to add in those little flowers, just stick them down as well. Just want them peeking out from behind those leaves. That looks cute. You'll see at the moment my photos look very plain and having all that sand on. So I'm already, in my mind, I already sort of know what I'm going to do with that, and you'll see in a second. These are puffy stickers, and I've just picked up a few beachy type things, an umbrella, an ice lolly, ice cream. I'm sticking those down. And this is where I'm going to look at my title. So these little acetate pieces are in the collection, and they've got lots of little summer titles. And what my idea is to put my title on top of the sand. So the sand is going to make the words pop. So I'm just going through a few of them, trying to figure out which one I like. I like that one, but it only covers the sand on one of them. Same with this one. I kind of want something to go across, so I'm settling on this one, which says Living on Summertime. And I'm going to stick that down using some wet glue. In the final layout, you'll see that that's changed slightly. I actually cut summer and time apart so that time fits better onto the second photo, and you'll see that in the final layout. I just felt like maybe it hung over the edge a bit too much, and was wasting that nice sand area that I had. So the last thing I do is add some enamel dots. So 3 sort of greeny ones up there and 3 peachy ones down at the bottom. And I think that that is going to be it. You're about to see the final layout, and you'll see the adjustment of the time, summertime word on this final layout. So there it is, and that title stands out really nicely on that sand, I think. If you have any questions for me, I'm really happy to answer them. There are some close-ups coming up as well, and I'll link the Sunshine on My Mind collection in the store below. But yes, please do ask any questions. In the meantime, this has been Vicky for Pink Fresh Studio. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.